And Ben Affleck, welcome back to
Thank
Studio
you very
57.
much.
You see,
So good to be here.
we slapped up the picture of you. We said, "Where's that Ben Affleck picture? Let's put it
Yeah,
up
I
on
saw
the
that
wall."
hastily erected, but we keep this up all the time.
No, it's there all the
Ben
time.
coming?
We'll take
I
a
see Sandra Bullock must be coming in because actually you probably keep her picture up full time. That's one of
we'll take a walk back down memory lane in just a second. But let's start with this movie, Ben, because I read the book, I saw the movie, love them both. And I love that David Fincher, who's also here, guys, he's in the hallway over there.
Yeah, watch out.
That David Fincher, one of the reasons he cast you was because of your grin. What was it? Because the grin comes at a very creepy time in the movie. How'd your smile do it?
Yeah, David, I was never quite sure which smile he meant, but he was obsessed with this idea that the relationship between how the media shows us and what's really going on with us, and that this nice guy who's sort of a people pleaser, who we think is nice, is accused of murdering his wife, and then he's standing in front of the missing poster, and one of the photographers goes, "Smile," and he kind of smiles, and then all of a sudden realizes I shouldn't be smiling in front of him, and that image is used to kind of condemn him throughout, not unlike actually that little segment you guys ran about the 48 Hours interview, and that case, very similar type thing where the interaction of media and real life and our fixation with these cases that tend to be about spouses murdering one another.
But you said, I think you said something like, I don't feel connected personally to Nick Dunn. Definitely, I felt, though, I was looking at a version of my life that I didn't recognize through the prism of the media.
Yeah, in my life, and I think I'm not the only celebrity. I wouldn't hold myself out there as the only guy who's experienced this. Many folks know who do this work know how it is, but I have felt as though when looking at versions of myself throughout my career, you know, some of the stuff you showed there reminded me of like, wow, that's how I looked at 19 years old. But you know, you go ahead and do something, and then you see the way it gets covered by tabloids or folks who want to sensationalize it or make you look unduly bad for whatever reason, and go, this bears no relationship to who I am. It's like a whole other person. It's like watching a soap opera that an actor is in, reading lines that I don't want to say in a part that I don't want. And so I use that sense of frustration and kind of helplessness and irritation to connect with a guy who's obviously on a whole other level, which is being accused of murder, and who can't control that, and who, if you don't act sort of the right way in these cases, you tend to get judged.
Yeah, people jump to conclusions.
Yeah. It's a great storyline with a twist in it, but also it's a great story about a marriage, too, right? About the complexities of people's marriages.
I think that's really what the movie is about, or most interestingly about to me. There's a plot engine, there's a whodunit, there's a thriller, there's a what's going to happen next. But at its heart, like the thing that David pitched to me that was the most interesting was that it's about how in that phase of, what you want to call it, courtship, you know, seduction, dating, we tend to show our partners the side of ourselves that we think is the most attractive, that they might like the most. And they do the same with us. And eventually, whether it's because you get tired of holding up that weight or you get married and you close the door, the masks come off and you find out who you're really with.
So what did Jennifer learn about that from you?
I think I was definitely, you know, I got lucky in that capacity. The person I found out that I married was almost better than what I thought, and I'm not sure. You'd have to ask her what she thought of me. You know, but it's luckily neither one of us has been accused of murder yet, so we must be doing something right.
I can tell you what she thought of you in Batman. I know you're filming it now, and I saw an interview with her the other day. She said he's in the best shape that he's ever been. And I'm enjoying all of it. Because Ben,
gosh, that's very pornographic for my wife.
But what's so interesting is when it was first announced that you were Batman, I saw one thing where a guy, some random person said, "No!" So when you read stuff like that, to the haters, do you go, "I'll show you," or does it give you pause? Because not everybody's going, "Yay, great,
well,
Ben,
there's
Batman."
a couple of things. One, I know I'm older than what people expected the Batman person to be announced as. So I don't take it totally personally, given that at 42, you expect Batman to be, you know, 25 and quite a little bit more rock'em sock'em type. But this is about a guy a little bit more at the end of his tether, which is one of the things I thought was interesting. You know, it's like I was coming in here today, there was that live shot, and I was telling Sean, who's with me, in all the movies that I've done combined, I've never had so much enthusiasm for a role. People come up to me on the street and say, "I can't wait, I'm so excited." And obviously there's plenty of negativity. This is a sort of a sign of how the media works these days. Fans interact with these properties. You have Star Wars, 50 Shades of Grey, Gone Girl, there were a lot of expectations. None of it is meaningful, to be totally honest. What's meaningful is you got to go out and do your job and do it well. So if the movie works, people will say it's good. If it doesn't, they'll say it wasn't, and that's just about as simple as it is.
No, they're going to love this movie. It's so well
Where
done.
are you now that you've had such success? There has been an evolution in your life, but directing and acting, where do you look to the future? Take what interests you?
I look to the future to work with directors that I think are really interesting as an actor. That's become my focus. So working with David Fincher was something that was an opportunity that really appealed to me because I thought this is a guy who's, you know, your big fear as an actor is that you're going to work really hard, you're going to do stuff you're really proud of, and you're not going to see it in the movie. And what you're going to see in the movie is something that you go, wait a minute, this doesn't bear any relationship to what we talked about or what I hoped for. And with a guy like David, you anticipate that it's being better than you hope for, which in this case, I think it is. And so those are the directors that I want to work with, and being an actor has afforded me the opportunity to be a little bit more selective about that. I can go do, after this, I'm going to go do a movie, direct a movie called Live by Night, which is a Dennis Lehane novel. That's going to take about 1.5 years. So, you know, to do the Fincher movie and then to take my time directing is, I'm in a really optimal place. I couldn't have hoped to be in a better place. I'm very lucky. And very
Are you a
grateful.
better actor because you've directed some?
Absolutely. You know, you get a perspective. I don't know if there's an equivalent, you know, being a producer up in the booth and watching what people do and how they're good at it, but being a director, you just see more from actors. You see what works, you see what doesn't. You see how actors tend sometimes to try to sell things, you know, to push, and how photographically there's so much of the story and the camera is doing a lot of the work, and some of my favorite work is very, very minimalist. And I've improved, I think, a great deal from that, and casting as well.
Can we talk about your lovely wife, Jennifer?
Sure.
She is such a doll, and she was on the forefront, her and Halle Berry, to get the paparazzi to stay away from the kids. Has your life changed because of it? She had told me once that your kids would walk outside looking down because they were so freaked out.
Yeah, it had created a thing where we were going to try to leave LA and leave, you know, we were sort of going to hiding. It got really bad because our kids were kind of becoming celebrities, which I think is really poisonous. I mean, there's nothing worse than sort of being a celebrity for no reason, and then also you feel inadequate, and then you feel crazy, and it's just, you know, it's awful. So, you know, it makes you crazy. And I think what happened was, and Halle deserves so much credit, she took this on like by herself, put her own money up, got the lawyers, started the whole thing rolling. Went to Sacramento, brought my wife into it, and then my wife got really dedicated and started working. Kristen Bell did a lot of really good work. And basically, it's like, it's nothing more than saying you can't stalk children. Right. And I think, you know, there was a sort of First Amendment argument, and people had defended it. It has changed a great deal. And I think we understand that children deserve special protections and under the law, and it has changed a great deal. It's made our lives better, and I'm very grateful to all
What did you get George and Amal for a wedding present? A toaster, a blender, or
just, you know, some silverware. I hit Kmart on the way. I was like, you guys need to eat, right?
Ben,
sure, they appreciate
Affleck,
it.
great to see you. Congratulations on the movie. And Gone Girl is in theaters Friday.